you everyone for being here. How's everyone doing? Good. Anyone have any good news?
Yes, I'm gonna be a grandma.
You just found out?
Yesterday, yeah.
Nice. That's a pretty good.
I have my son with me today.
Wow.
Nice.
Are you planning to be?
Congratulations. So good.
It's on my mission saying, yeah.
That's good.
How are you?
Family.
I'm great.
Thank you.
It's nice to have new faces in here. Anyone else has anything to share? Any good news?
Just got the stick test, that's how new it is.
Hey, who's ready to have some fun?
Yes.
Who got the prize?
Yes.
Please help me welcome Shauna.
Congratulations, and
Thank you.
Good morning, Zoom. So today we're gonna play a little Price is Right. All you gotta do is guess the actual house price closest without going over, and you're gonna get a card. All sold in the last 2 weeks. So let's start it off, and the first one is our West Palmdale 3-bedroom, 3-bath, box house, 3 square, 1,700 square feet. Very nice, cozy lot.
5,000 square foot lot.
It's cozy. Cozy. Let's see.
Who needs a bag? Anyone needs a
Oh,
bag?
Christmas.
That's a gold.
I was about to tell them to take down their Christmas tree. This was
Maybe it just took a long time.
That sold in the last 2 weeks.
I bet you that one was overpriced. It took a while to come down.
Maybe, or had the wrong agent.
Yeah,
Go back to the details.
It's not like Keller Williams one.
Look at the size of that pineapple. Did you see the size of that
Was it
pineapple?
upside down?
I'll bet that's
Go back, look at that pineapple. That is huge.
Are you sure?
Look at that pineapple by the orchid. Oh, yeah. That is a huge pineapple.
I'm gonna
Oh, right there.
Oh my God, this is not a real pineapple. It's just decoration.
Somebody needs a better.
This market is.
Like a hundred.
Oh, that's it, Bertie.
Thank you, Wes.
580.
All right.
Yeah.
Lock in your land answer.
580.
Couple on Zoom.
What?
Yeah.
590, 590, I'll give you 590.
We have
Or what?
550, 549, 540.
All right. Ready for your price? Here.
565.
Whoa!
Look at Tiffany
Way
with that.
over.
All right.
$499.
Josh, you have 499. Anybody, what do you have?
3,499.
You like what?
510 over.
Oh, I just got it.
I can't
Yeah,
spell that.
I'm in Oregon.
499.
I'm gonna have to
All
borrow
right,
this
we
stuff.
got 3 winners. That's 499.
Once you wear an extra large.
All right, congratulations.
That's common. The 360 will be common.
I was robbed.
Good job, Josh.
Hey.
What number?
Jason, you just left on your card.
That's it.
Yeah.
I had robbed.
Nobody on the Okay. Or maybe they just had a very, very bad agent. Because clearly those pictures were from Christmas. Right. Houses with more than 500.
I'm surprised it wasn't
Right?
That's a nice board. Look at that board.
Ready for the next one?
48.
Oh, no, that's a nice one.
West Palmdale, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Built in 1996. 2,200 square feet. A nice size lot.
Wait.
All you need is this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Alright.
That's real nice.
All right, this is nice.
Ooh, that's nice.
Nice.
Is that a pool in the back? No?
Well, let's say
I can see that.
Oh, that's balcony.
That's a pool.
Yeah, that's good. Give it $10,000 value.
That's a nice house.
That's nice. That's pretty.
Alright.
Man, that one's looking like a
That's
679.9.
No, that's a 615.
That's nice.
All right,
No.
6:45.
6:39.
Five.
6:39.
We have 6:30.
6:39.
I call 6:95.
6:39.
Got someone
6:39.
All right.
6:25.
Write it down, national retail prices.
6:25.
That is such a big deal.
And I need
That house
No,
is
no, no,
like-
no. 575.
That scares me, that's so much.
575.
580 on Zoom.
How is that so?
You gotta quit picking Remax ads.
All right, last one for the day.
I thought that was green words.
Okay, West Lancaster.
Alright, everybody's way too high.
Okay, boys in the back. West Lancaster, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 2004, 2,000 square feet on a 7,000 square foot lot.
That's on Bahan Court. I sold that one.
Oh, this is a nice kitchen.
This is a nice.
You're going in this, you gotta go down way low.
Did not sell it for 585.
We have been way overfit.
It did not,
Higher or lower?
higher.
Uh,
I don't know the prices.
It's definitely not higher.
Well,
That's comparable to West Palmdale.
Oh,
That's not 585. Oh, yeah, 40 sounding good.
How big's the house?
2,000 square feet.
2,000 square
Man.
feet. Oh, West Lancaster.
536.
570.
That's off 650.
1.2 million. 536,
575.
599.99.
$1.
570.
99.99. So practically 565.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Actual retail prices.
I'm getting worried. I really got these tapes.
560, 550.
You see that? I was
I could have used you. I just
I just missed one.
only a couple.
Congratulations.
No, I was straight to. Oh, okay. I didn't get gold.
All right, guys, so thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
He's gonna grab one there.
Thank you, Sarah.
And as always, on track on the contract.
How you doing?
Cheers, Jack. You can take a better cheers for the coffee. All right, how's everyone doing?
Great!
Yeah,
Welcome back, Garrett.
I'm back.
I miss you.
It must have been horrible to go a few days without me. I'm sure it was terrible. Thank you.
You had so much fun.
How we survived.
It was great.
Actually, we repaired the building back to normal last night.
Put everything back.
Stop lying.
We got
all the beer department.
All the beer stains, we cleaned up the beer. Like mom's coming back, we gotta clean everything up.
Yeah.
Well,
Be on time.
Be on time. Well, it's nice to see everybody. I'm glad to be back. I was only gone for 3 days, so it wasn't like I was gone for that long. But we just got back from Texas. It was great. We were at a leadership convention for all Keller Williams, spending some time with the leadership team at Keller Williams International, Gary Keller, Mark King, Jason Abrams, and all that group, and it was fantastic. And I was excited to come back. Who here has had a really terrible job? In the past. Yeah. Who's had a job where they just hated it? Right? Yeah, a lot of us. So I know some of you know this about me, some of you guys don't, but before I got into real estate, one of my big things that pushed me into real estate is I hated my last job before I got into real estate. I worked insane hours. I was on salary, so I didn't get overtime. And I remember like driving to work, and I kid you not, like I would joke about it in my head, but like if I just like got like a minor accident, like one broken leg, get like a couple days off, like I would joke about it, but that's how much I hated my job. I worked insane hours and all that stuff, and the people I worked with, some of them were okay, but a lot of the management was just terrible. There wasn't a culture within that place. And coming into Keller Williams, guys, I could honestly say, like, this is it for me. Like, this is where I'm at, and the reason being is the culture and the people that are in it. And the foundation of this company has always been on culture of who we are and what we are as people and what we believe in and who we get to work with every day. And coming in here every single day and working with all of you has made this thing an awesome adventure for me. And this company really is about whoever wants whatever they want, just raise your hand and go take it. And there's an opportunity for you there. There's agents in this company that have formed other companies that are now in partnership with Keller Williams that this year were valued at $1 billion in the company that they made. And that's an agent started that within Keller Williams. He just had an idea and what made it work, right? So the sky's the limit for everything, and it's all built on the culture and who we are as people. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for being who you are. Thank you for being a part of our culture, and we love you all so much. So appreciate y'all.
What's the business that they just started?
You got EXP.
No, it's a platform business called I'm gonna mess it up. Sync, I believe it. That's not. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know. I'll have to look at you. But they were talking about the company, and basically it's a platform to help agents within their business, like basically a real estate business in a box. So, anyways, very cool. All right, a couple announcements. Who's signed up for the Spartan race already? Woo! Woo! We got 3 of us. Oh, 4 of us.
I bet I was asleep.
4 of us. All right, KW Fit, we're doing a Spartan race. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's probably going to, I'm doing this by the way, and I'm probably going to throw up. Absolutely going to throw up because I am not in a shape for this. But it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. We're going to get together. We're going out to, it's Big Bear, right?
Big Bear.
It's a Big Bear on, where'd the date go?
15th.
The 15th of May. 15th of May. Actually, me and my wife are looking to try and make a weekend out of it, maybe get a campsite up there and go have fun with the motorhome. We're going to make an event out of it. I'm excited for it. It's going to be, I can't wait for JD to laugh at me forever for throwing up a couple times. It's going to be a great time, guys, but it's going to be a great event. We're all getting together to do a Spartan race, and it's just challenge yourself. If it's something you've thought about maybe wanting to do, sign up for it and come throw up with us. It'll be great. All right, on April 20th, we have our 7 a.m. yoga, Rise and Shine yoga. So bring your yoga mat. We're going to do a little yoga session. The sun's coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're just trying to bring more, all right, if we're living our best life, but yet we're not living our best life within our fitness and we don't feel good about who we are, we're not feeling healthy, that could affect everything else, right? So
Bring your yoga mat.
bring your yoga mats because this mitt will hurt to do yoga on without it. So that'll be fun, so make sure to come to that. We have a lot going on, guys. Next week, 10 o'clock. Don't show up here. No one will be here. Go to the Hilton Garden Inn. It's actually going to be at 11 o'clock. We're going to do our quarterly awards. Quarterly awards, we're going to check out how everyone's doing for the first quarter so far. If you guys want inspiration and motivation, come see how much your top agents made this last quarter. It's crazy how much money they've made in this last quarter. So come check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. And come accept your award if you're on there. On the Hilton Garden Inn, we'll be at 11 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. Nothing will be here next week, and we'll have lunch. It'll be a good time.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, see, you guys said it really good. I'll let you guys say that again. So the egg hunt potluck. That's today, 1 o'clock. So hang out today, have some fun. There's going to be the social committees doing a little potluck, and there's going to be a little egg hunt. It'll just be some fun. Then Monday, Mark's doing his session on his intermediate to advanced investments from 11 to 12. And then Monday following that, Jessica Ellen is doing the Back to the Buyers transactions. Who came to her class? Was it yesterday? Monday. Who came to that Monday? Was it beneficial? Was it?
For what I was here for, it was very beneficial.
Very beneficial, right? Jessica is one of the top, she's an agent here, but she also does a lot of transaction coordinating for people. She does a great job. She was sharing her secrets. And then on May 31st, career night. It's the best way, the easiest way to grow your downline. What is the easiest way? Nobody knows?
Get career clients.
Invite your friends and family and colleagues to career night. Career night, it's so easy. You put it on your social media. You call your friends and family, let them know, hey, if you know anyone looking to get into real estate, we have a career night. Awesome. Oh, by the way, if you know anyone looking to buy or sell real estate, right? It's an easy way to call your clients. JD.
So I've been telling my clients, I'm like, you guys send me referrals all the time. I want to pay you. Get your license and I'll pay you a referral fee. So I got like 8 of them right now getting their license.
Just
Nice. Great.
Yeah, because they send me referrals. I'm like, I want to pay you. I
yeah.
don't got a license though.
That's great. And you get money on, look at that, they'll
And
get
I
your
get a
downline, you'll
downline,
get profit share on your
yeah.
referral. Look at that, double dipping, JD. You know what? You're a smart guy.
Share on your referral.
And that is a great idea, guys. So
That's
the
a-
best way to grow your downline is to get people to career nights. The easiest way to do it. We normally pack the room. A lot of people are getting their license right now, so just encourage people to do it. And you have a month and a half almost to get people there. All right, we have a special guest today. Our not rookie. Oh yeah, you wish. You wish it was rookie of the year. We have Mr. Marvin McKinnon, our Realtor of the Year, and also our President-elect Marvin, who's going to come up here and let us know about everyone's getting in trouble. So let's stop getting in trouble. So let's welcome up Marvin.
All right,
You just look up there so that's why they can see you on Zoom. As long as you see yourself, they can see you.
Okay, so this is called how to not give Gavar any more money than you already have to. First of all, does everybody know what Gavar is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, you paid them, so. And by the way, if you haven't paid them your MLS dues by 21st tomorrow? 21st, a week from today. You'll be in trouble with staff and with Gavar. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a little talk on what the top violations are that our office gets caught for. Not to mention everybody else in the XP and all them. But the top 4 things that will get you fined by Gavar for what you do with the MLS. First of all,
Sorry,
oh, that's for Mike.
I messed
things up. Now, rule number 1. The mandatory submission. Does everybody know you take a listing, how long do you have to get it into the MLS?
24 hours.
Before public marketing.
Yeah, JD's actually right. 24 hours if you've done any public marketing, and 48 hours if you haven't. So the 24 hours is a state rule that says that anything that you have advertised to the public has to show up in multiple listing within 24 hours. Now, the 24 hours does not include weekends or holidays.
Business days.
It's business, well, no, it's not business days, it's supposed to be 24 hours, but it's business days only. So Saturdays don't count, Sundays don't count, Christmas doesn't count. So if you really want to be able to give it up to your clients and not have anybody else have access to it, you list it on a Friday. And you have to have it in by Monday afternoon. But our office gets this violation quite a bit, so keep it in mind.
Do they check that, or does somebody have to like turn you in to get caught for that?
Somebody has to turn you in. Now, if you're a member of the board down in LA, they have their computer system set up to check it.
Wow.
So if you went in there and typed in a listing that said you listed it on the 15th of April, it would automatically find you. But up here, we don't have that, but don't tell anybody that told you.
It's a yet, right?
Yeah, not yet. So somebody has to report it.
Okay.
Now, another little thing to keep in mind there is you have a listing that you take on, well, you send it out to somebody, like I have a client that's 88 years old, doesn't know what email is, doesn't know what cell phone is, so everything's by mail. So I listed his property, I dropped it in the mail on April the 1st. I got it back on April the 7th. What day do you put in the list that you got the listing? April 1st.
The day
When it was signed.
When you received it.
Deliverance.
Deliverance, because you didn't know it was signed on the 1st.
Right.
And that will flag it for somebody seeing, oh, this has been on the market 7 days, I'm gonna turn him in. Now, that's not official, but that's the way you should probably do it, because you did not know you had that listing until it showed back up in your mail. So to keep yourself from looking like you wasted 7 days, you just put the day you got it back. So, and this is a pretty serious fine. It's $500 for the first offense, $1,000 for the second offense, and $2,500 for the third offense. So,
Just put it in there.
yeah, just put it in. This was instituted because of all the agents that were trying to double end everything by sitting on it for a month, putting up a sign, putting it on the internet. Anything public facing, anything the public can see. If it's a sign in the window, if it's a sign in the front yard, if it's a broadcast fax that you put out or a broadcast email, that's all considered public. Once you've given it to the public, you got 24 hours. So,
What if you put a sign in front of your house, a for sale sign?
you leave it there for 29 years?
That doesn't say for sale. Marvin? What if the sign doesn't say for sale?
First of all, if it doesn't say for sale, it's still, if it's a realtor sign, it's still considered to be a for sale sign.
Okay.
So it's still public. However, that rule only applies to listed properties. Now, you can't have the owner give you written permission to stick a sign in front of their house and not list it. There's one on Avenue N like that.
Right.
I drive by it.
I know the owner.
Every day I see Marvin's face.
I see Marvin's face everywhere.
So this genesis of all of this started about, oh God, I don't know, 4 years ago, I want to say, in Monterey at a CAR meeting. A lot of LA agents complaining about pocket listings, right? So this has been something that has been ongoing for about 3 years. It finally came down as clear cooperation and all the rules behind it. And the problem is every association and every MLS system interprets the rules differently, right? And the state has tried numerous times to create a one-size-fits-all. And I was actually at a meeting a couple years ago where they had 17 points of how the state should run clear cooperation. And once they got to about the 7th point, people started raising their hand in the meeting and saying, that doesn't work in our area. That doesn't work in our area. We can't do this, we can't do that. So they just scrapped it. And so every association or every MLS system looks at it differently. So make sure you know the rules in GAVAR versus the rules in SRAR versus the rules in Tehachapi or Bakersfield or wherever you're going. And yeah, there are some workarounds, right? The crafty agents figure out how to get around this stuff. So if you have an SELM, that's one way to take the listing and keep it off with the MLS. But when it's in its SELM period, you can still market it within your own company, within your own mailing list. So there is a lot of different workarounds. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to try my best to explain all those different workarounds.
Yeah, you just can't let it be seen by the public.
Can't be out to the public. And back to your point, yes, if the house is unlisted, you can put a sign in the yard if it doesn't say for sale and you have written permission. What all you're advertising are your real estate services at that point. You're not advertising a house for sale. Yes, sir.
If, so SRAR has the coming soon,
Yes.
so would we be able to put it in SRAR but not GAVAR?
If you do, you're in violation of GAVAR's rules.
So
If you're a member of both, you'll get fined. That's actually probably why this is the #1 fine.
Could people put on SRAR?
Because a lot of people are in SRAR. One particular one who puts a sign on every corner likes to do coming soon down there, and then it violates up here.
Got it.
And that's a GAVAR rule, because in Tehachapi, we don't do that.
Wow.
If you put it coming soon down there and you're a member out here, we don't care. It's not our association. So that's, again, how does the MLS, each one of
Okay.
them, you gotta know all the rules.
Yeah, so that's one way that they've been trying to get around it, and it doesn't work with GAVAR because they, as soon as it shows up on public, it's against, especially if you're primary with GAVAR.
How about the empty lots that have like about 5 or 6 different pictures on there? What is that?
What that means is that there's agents that are maybe a little arrogant.
I resent that remark.
I resent
I got a few of them out there.
And Silva?
Yeah, what some agents do is, originally it was, the idea was, okay, I have a house out in the middle of nowhere, it's 1.5 miles of dirt road, so I'm gonna put a sign down at the public road with the right arrows showing where it is. It's called doing a directional sign. GAVAR, and nobody can really enforce that except for the county and the city, because you're putting it on public land. So it's not on a listing, so it doesn't fall under the association's rules. So what they do now is they park about 4 signs on the same corner, and City of Lancaster will take them down and fine you. The City of Palmdale will take them down and fine you. And the county says they will take them down and fine you, but they haven't done it in 5 years. So all those signs you see are on county property.
Wow.
You see them a lot more in Quartz Hill and in other
That's why you
areas.
see them in Quartz Hill,
I'll see
Avenue
them
A, and
down
Avenue
there.
M, where it's not in either city. I mean, the cities will get on it, the county, they drive up there once every 5 years.
So can you put them, like, if there's a neighborhood where your house is, can you put an arrow sign with your sign pointing to the street where your house is?
If it's legal with the county or the city.
How do you know though?
Lancaster will not let you.
Lancaster will not let you, Palmdale will not let you, and the county says they won't.
It has to be unincorporated.
Yeah,
Has to be in the middle, though.
yeah. And the county may one day just decide to come up here and make a whole bunch of money and take all his signs and all those signs down. And actually find it, but they never have done it yet. So I'm not telling you it's right to do that, but you can pretty much usually get away with it in the county. Right, any other questions on that rule? Okay. Second rule, second most violated rule is including contact information in your listing. That would be, you put your listing in and you write your little blurb about it and say, call me for details, and you put your phone number in there. If it goes to the public, that's a violation. Because your listing is gonna go to other agents. RE/MAX is gonna have it on their website. And it's gonna be on Zillow, and you're not allowed to advertise you on the public. So, for instance, you have a client set up on an automatic search. And so the MLS sends them all the listings that match their stuff automatically. So in the marketing remarks, it says, oh yes, call Peter at 945-9461 to see it. Well, you're giving your client the other agent's information. So that's the reason for the rule.
Oh, you mean in the marketing remarks?
In the marketing remarks, you can't put anything that says that to call me or that's listed by so-and-so, or you can't put, must be qualified by Joe Blow over at ABC Mortgage. You can't put anything that gives a name, a phone number, or an address.
So how do these third-party websites get away with it?
Because they're third-party websites, they are later.
Okay.
And we can't police Zillow.
Right.
So, we don't care too much for Zillow, but we can't police them. So, but yeah, you can't have it in the MLS because, and the biggest reason is because your listings automatically go to somebody else's clients and their listings automatically go to your clients, so to be fair. The same thing is, it actually comes up in the next one, rule number 3, is you can't have when you're doing pictures, you can't have a picture of your for sale sign.
Right.
Because you just did the same thing. That used to be the sneaky way to do it. You just take a picture of the front of the house with your for sale sign. And there's your name and phone number to everybody that goes to. So,
What are some of the other images issues other than that one?
can't have borders, can't have anything else added to the photo. That actually, most of that comes up under the third one, which is images and photographs. That, oh, by the way, putting your name and all that in there, that's not quite as bad a fine. You'll get $150 the first time. So, but number 3, MLS rule and roll. I thought we put them up there, but we don't. Huh? Okay, number 3 is photographs and images. People get violated for this all the time. And that's why it's the third highest. The first part of the rule says that if you are going to put pictures on your listing, you are saying that you have the right to those pictures. In other words, you bought them, you own them, or you took them. So you didn't steal them from somebody else. This comes up a lot when somebody goes to do a new listing that expired with another agent. You go, oh man, he has some really nice pictures on there, so I'm just gonna go on there and swipe them. And you're not allowed to do that.
It's not Facebook.
Yeah, those are copyrighted pictures, so you're not allowed to go to those. You can do it if the other agent gives you written permission.
I bought photos from Leslie Go, and one time I was like, hey, can I just use your photos? You just sold this thing 3 months ago.
As long as they give you written permission.
She did. I sold a bottom for her for $100.
Yeah, that's fine. So I've done that before, I paid somebody for their pictures, because they did such a good job. So why not?
Josh, you got a question?
You got a hand over here.
Oh, go ahead,
So
Josh.
if anybody isn't familiar, there's a form called PIA, Property Images Agreement.
Mhm.
And it's an agreement that you have with your photographer. And you can set the license in that agreement, whether or not it's a total license, like I bought these, the right to use these for the rest of my life, or that the photographer can set up with you, you have a license to use them for the duration of the listing, and then you have to give them back. It is difficult, I know right now, the MLS systems are also working with, removing some of the photos at the time of sale, but you have to leave at least the primary photo of the property on the MLS. I don't know if you guys are to that point. We have now where you can put in that the photo is private, so that when it moves to sold, those photos drop off the MLS.
We do not have that yet.
Yeah, but we can't keep them from going to Zillow and et cetera. Once they get them, they abuse the heck out of them.
Once it's on the internet, it never goes away.
Yeah, but just be aware of
Passwords.
your copyright laws on all the photos. Make sure you're having that conversation with your photographer, or if he wants to give you a blanket agreement that says any photo I take for you for the end of time, you own the rights to it. So just keep an eye on that.
That's why we have the Consumer Privacy Act as well.
So can you put a watermark on photos? Now, what if the photography company puts their watermark on the photos when we upload them to MLS? Is that gonna cause any issues?
Yeah. I've never seen it yet, but it's no edit images, so I would say yes.
Yeah.
Kevlar used to have.
Yeah, the MLS actually puts a watermark on
They
there.
used to, they don't anymore.
Okay,
Not for about the last 2 years.
got it.
Yeah, same thing with the videos too, that you can get, you have your videographer will normally give you 2 videos, one with your logo for your own marketing and then one for the MLS.
Right, because the one for the MLS can't have any of your information in it.
All right.
Same rule applies to videos as applies to pictures.
I had a quick question. You said that we can't use edited pictures on the MLS. But what about like the digitally, when they like digitally stage the house?
Okay, well, the rule for, the picture rule is basically you have to have, your listing only has to have 1 picture. That's all we require you to have. And the first picture has to be an unaltered view of the front of the house. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it from a drone. It doesn't mean you have to do it at street level, but it has to show the front of the house and it has to be unaltered. You can't change the sky. You can't put in the green grass where the dead grass is.
So all those pictures of the beautiful sky are original, they're not altered?
No, they're altered.
They're altered. Only the first one you can't alter.
Some of them are not altered, so if you use like InView, they do a night, they charge you extra for the
Yeah.
time, and they take it and it's an unaltered one, but they can also alter it to make it more.
Right.
So it's
Because
just,
those pictures are pretty beautiful.
For example, we had somebody put a picture in once, and that's where this rule got a little more teeth than it used to have. This lady was looking for a house in Quartz Hill, and she wanted up on a hill and a view. She wanted to watch the sunset like she used to with her husband, and she lived in Utah. So an agent did one and altered it and put the sunset behind this house, which faced north and south. She got on a plane and flew from Utah to see that house because of the sunset.
Yeah, so the rule on that is you have to show an accurate representation, right? It's gotta be an accurate, so that is a major violation, putting a sunset where a sunset doesn't exist, or photoshopping out telephone lines where there are telephone lines, or like you said earlier, putting in a lawn where there's no lawn, or you can even get in trouble for putting in a fire on a fireplace that's actually not working.
That's happened before too. Now, anything past your primary photo you can enhance, but you still can't change anything material.
Correct.
If there's a telephone pole in the backyard, you can't take it out. If there's a stop sign in front of it, you can't take that out. You can't add in the patio that doesn't exist.
That's a good question to ask, because many of the photographers will make the fireplace work, which is fine if it works.
If it works.
So ask, does the fireplace work? If they say no, make sure the photographer is aware, because a lot of them will do that.
they put that above a pool on the ground?
Okay, any other questions on that?
I do.
Sure.
So the first photo is supposed to be of the front of the house.
Of the front of the house and unaltered.
So how do these top agents with pools 100% of the time get away with placing pools as their
Welcome to the MLS.
Placing what?
Welcome to the
Nobody
board.
tells them.
Well, they know.
Yeah.
So you don't, you
So
gotta get,
Gavin,
what he
the
says is
first-
someone's gotta report you.
The first photo has to be
Has to be the front of the house.
So, because again, different MLSs.
Right.
Other MLSs will say if you're only putting one photo, then it has to be the front of the house, but if you have multiple photos,
Right.
you can put any one as the first photo. So again,
I'm pretty
just
sure
check with
ours
your
ours
MLSs.
says a front picture.
Unaltered front
We,
photo.
that went to the board, so if you guys would like to more information on this stuff and be involved, there is this, you just joined the committee, right? Me and Marvin are on the committee, and this came up as we had a great discussion of why does it matter? We went back and forth, there was a vote. Personally, I was against forcing the front of the house, but I was in the minority. Marvin was for it, we both had good reasons, and then that was the reason it stayed. So if you're interested in joining, it's open to any realtor that wants to join the MLS and have that discussion.
I think we've already talked about this enough. We should just drop it.
Okay, well, I just came, by the way, from the board of directors meeting where that MLS motion came forward. And there was another half an hour discussion. Because now there's threats involved and all kinds of things.
Oh, so it's coming back to the board, huh?
Oh, yeah.
It's coming back.
Let's go back.
Okay.
So my question is though, like, I don't turn anybody in.
Who the hell's turning
I would
people
like
in?
to, but that seems to be the only way the violations are corrected is if
Yeah,
if
someone has to
somebody
forward a
rats
complaint.
on somebody else.
Yep.
Right.
But how many times can certain agents get in trouble because is there a limit before they get kicked out of the MLS?
Yes, there it is.
So nobody ever
They're not
turns.
gonna get kicked out.
No. Well, they
He
could,
could.
especially if they threaten the board, threaten the staff. But, anyway, usually they just pay the fine or they change it as soon as they're told to. There is a couple of them that are.
So they can change it and not get fined?
It's a warrantable offense first. Like, and also, just like with me, if I'm looking at pictures and I see somebody from inside this office or anybody else I know out there, and the picture's wrong, I'll call them, hey, dude, did you know that your front photo isn't there? Might want to change that before somebody violates it. Because it's real easy to send a violation when you're looking at the list, you just push that little button that says send violation. So, but yeah, there's.
You looking for people to violate it?
She's like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna get this
Fortunately, there was at one time a couple of agents here that thought they were the MLS police. And they would wait till new listings came on every morning and they would sit there and violate every one of them that had
Oh
something.
my gosh.
Luckily, they've died or retired. So we don't so much have any people now are more interested in doing business. There was a couple of old ladies that thought that they should keep everything good. So yeah, you can get violated by anybody. But yeah, it's usually courteous to just call one and say, hey, by the way, do you know that something's wrong with your listing? Let's help each other out.
And depending on how they respond to that.
Depending on how they respond.
You hold your finger over the violation. If they're a jerk, you just go click.
They take a mouse and push
My
button.
finger got tired. It dropped.
Okay, the fourth most violated rule, and this is the worst one. Your MLS key, you cannot lend that to anybody else, you cannot let anybody else use it, you cannot give a code to anybody to get into the lockbox that doesn't have an agent with them. But that's a major violation, we don't see a whole lot of it, but it's $1,000 fine the first time.
As it should be.
Yeah, as it should be.
Do not let anyone into someone
You're
else's
allowing
house that's
somebody else,
unlicensed.
somebody into somebody's personal property that doesn't belong there.
I also found out that you cannot list for someone else. You cannot list a property that they're, let's say, down below for another brokerage, and
Right.
they're asking for help, and they have a property listed up here. I almost did it, but I made the right calls.
Yeah, you have to be on the paper.
You gotta be an additional agent, and you gotta sign the disclosure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
And
As
you're
long
gonna
as
charge
you're,
more
as
than
long
it
as
costs
it's
them to join.
contractual, you're good.
Yeah.
And you're gonna charge more than it would cost them to join, so it doesn't make any sense for them to do it.
Sure.
Does GAVR, if you're gonna do a co-listing like that, do both people on the listing agreement have to be members of GAVR?
You can't list their name. It can only be your name on GAVR.
Because again,
So-
different rules, different areas,
Yeah.
so take a look at that as
Then it
well.
becomes a
Because in
referral.
our area, if one of my agents co-lists with one of you, and we wanna put it in ours, you have to be a member there also.
Yeah, and you can't even put their phone number or anything.
It's different everywhere again, guys, so I think the point of that is call. There's always somebody, there's always an MLS coordinator at every MLS, and call them and ask them the rules, tell them what you're gonna do, and get the rules.
And ask them if you're violating the rules. Plus, the rules are on the GAVR website, you can look at them anytime you want to.
Yeah, but once a week.
Can we get the clip notes?
Or Marvin's phone number.
Or Marvin's phone number. Just gotta take them out for
So
dinner.
just have like, like when you have a listing and then you have an outside area realtor asking for a code for that day.
1 day code, yeah.
Yeah, 1 day code, and then they give it to the client, and then the client goes and sees the house. So but they're not even a member, so what can you do regarding?
Well, you can either violate them in their own association, file against them in SRA or where they came from. You can file a grievance down there against them, and their fines, I think, are even stiffer than ours.
It's $5,000.
It's $5,000.
And do it.
And it also,
And do it, yes, definitely.
it also becomes a code of ethics violation
Right.
too, which is different than just an MLS violation, and if they're repeat offenders of ethics, then their name goes on the website, et cetera, et cetera. And they can have more punitive fines from the DRE.
I think I missed that. So you can't do 1 day codes for out of
No,
areas.
he's saying that the agent gave the 1 day code to the client came up and themselves.
Yeah, well, that's not good.
Okay, because
That happens all the time.
in the past I had agents doing that because they are like in Orange County, they don't want to make the drive.
Right,
Yeah.
Right, you're allowed to show up for 25% referral fee.
yeah, exactly.
Or say, hey, yeah, I'll give you the code once I see a selfie of you standing in front of my house.
Yeah, well, I always tell them, take a picture, when you get to the house, take a picture of the lockbox number with this phone and send it to me.
Or you just do, if you're part of SRAR, I put 2 lock boxes on. After that happened to me, we did go after her, and she got a $5,000 fine. But I put a SRAR box and GAVR, so like the only people that get 1 day codes are from Tehachapi. That's it. And that keeps people from.
The Hatchby folk don't do that.
Yeah.
My point is, they can't access our lock.
They don't mind driving down here, you like go to Costco. Good question.
The other thing for that too, just also for everybody to know, because I've been running into this, is when you do have out-of-area agents that you especially don't know, jump on the DRE and verify, because I had a couple do that and come to find out they were not, their license was,
Expired.
yeah, it was they couldn't do what they were doing. It was, what's the word I'm looking for?
Suspended or revoked or?
Yeah, suspended or
probably
revoked, so
suspended.
you can see if they've had violations before, and that will kind of help you, because I had one guy said, hey, you're a non-working license, you cannot show this. Oh, let me pay the fine, it'll be fine. I said, okay, when I see it, you can then show the house. He's never got taken care of. So that's, use that DRE, it takes 2 seconds, guys, just to put in their license number, and it pops up everything.
That's why you
2
can always
seconds.
ask them to send a picture of their card with their license number on it, so
Exactly.
they're not reading one to you that could be
Exactly.
somebody else.
Or they'll even send their assistant. You
Yeah.
know, they'll send their assistant, oh, I need you to go show the property to my buyers. I don't know. Right?
That's why I always tell them to send me a picture with
Right.
this phone, from this phone number, while you're standing on my property.
Yep.
Yeah, give you the number.
Well, aren't they allowed to send a buyer's agent?
That's a licensed agent.
If they're licensed, then you're giving the code to the licensed agent.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
That's smart to not send the code until they get to the box.
Yeah, and then, like I said, and since they've just called you from their cell phone, you know which cell phone is theirs. So I want to see a picture of my lockbox from that cell phone.
Yeah, as long as the client isn't taking it and sending it to them, they're sending it to you, so be careful.
Yeah.
People do crazy stuff.
There's ways around almost everything.
That's just like food selfie scanning. I want to see your picture, but it look like your card, and you're standing in front of the house. And you take a photo.
Well, that won't work for about half of the women down there.
I'm signing.
Marvin, you're single? No way!
You got that 20-year-old picture, 20-year-old picture on the card.
Is this being recorded? recorded?
Hit stop.
Marvin's gonna start sending pictures of me along with this story.
Okay, Marvin, thanks.
One more question.
So I can only give a one-day code to agents, not to clients, is that?
100%.
Right, never, ever.
No, we've had people in here get fined for that. So
I've given-
when they go,
I gave one to my seller because he didn't have his key when it was his house. But
yeah, well, that's different. You're giving it to their own house. You're not giving it.
yeah, no, that was just clarifying.
And then, yeah, you can do that. That's their house, it's their key. So, but, yeah, there's actually a rule that says that you can't, that a licensed agent has to be at the property at any showing. Different MLS rules, not one of the top 4. Okay, anybody got any other questions? Or any other bitches about Gavar? All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Next time I will do ethics.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank you. All right, we've got a few more minutes. We have our ALC meeting after, so we're gonna have to cut this meeting a little bit short, but I was gonna jump into opportunity mindset. So last week, we were talking about what? And I said we're gonna continue talking about it.
Market shift?
Market shift. Shift in general, right? Shift in general. We just got back from Mega Camp and Gary Keller was talking about this. Like we said, we can't predict the future. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, if it's going to be a big shift, small shift, what that looks like, but there will be a shift. Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be 2 years? We don't know for certain because sometimes they take a while to happen, but we will see that market slowing down. So we're going to continue on from where we were at. I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker than I would like to because of just timing, but that's okay. So first things, guys, we got to do is last week we talked about really getting real, right? We're getting real with the market. We talked about why, what's coming up, and what the market looks like. Today is just the mindset, the opportunity mindset, right? So here's the deal. Markets are always in transition. Always, right? They're either on their way up, on the way down, on the way up, on the way down, right? Markets are always consistently shifting, right? The myth is a market determines your success. Marvin, did you make money in the last down market?
I closed 306 houses in a year.
306 houses in a year. Have you closed that many since in a year?
I haven't closed that many since in every year.
Every year.
Combined.
Right? So there is always people buying and selling property in no matter what the market is. The market does not determine your success. Down markets tend to have fewer great deals, right? So they sell faster. So you just have to be, your mindset has to be that the opportunity is coming and I'm going to go out there and find what that opportunity is. It might not be the same opportunity today as it is tomorrow though, all right? Up markets equal proactive and reactive lead generation, right? So when you're in an up market, what's a proactive lead generation?
Cold calling.
Yeah, cold calling, right? You're being proactive. I'll be a little more specific with that, what that looks like.
You plan for it?
Yeah, you're planning for it, right? You're being proactive is, for example, houses are selling 3% above on average sales price, right? Because the market's right there, we're proactive, we know what the market's doing, we're proactively doing that, right? So what would be reactive marketing? Or lead generation?
Answering the phone?
Yeah, answering the phone, more stuff just falls to you. And or let's say if you're doing a marketing plan, you're kind of reacting to the market, just sold, 10,000 above askings, that type of stuff, right? In down markets, typically only proactive lead generation works. Meaning that you're gonna have to be a lot more proactive in what you're doing. Your phone will ring less, so you'll have to dial more, right? That makes sense. You're gonna have to do marketing towards what's coming. So marketing towards knowing that short sales or whatever that may be, you have to be proactive in what you're thinking of the market that's coming to be more successful. Typically when that market shifts, you can't just be reactive, you'll have less success. Does that make sense? Kind of? Yes. Yes? Awesome. Market shifts equals new strategies required. So every time the market shifts, guys, absolutely a new strategy will be required. What you're doing today might not necessarily work for what's gonna work for tomorrow. All right? Right now, you throw an open house up, people are walking in, everything's going well. That might not be successful in that future. It might be, we don't know for certain what that looks like. But just know that you have to adopt an opportunity mindset, seek only motivated buyers and sellers, very motivated people. Price ahead of the market, don't chase the market, right? A lot of times right now, what is ahead of the market right now? People are almost ridiculous what they're asking. They're kind of getting it, right? Because the market's just going up, going up, going up. But when the market starts to shift and come down, it's a lot harder to get your buyers to understand that if they price it above where the market's at and it's going down, well, when they do that first price reduction, they're still going to be chasing the market. Then they have to do another price reduction, and then another price reduction as the market kept going down. So you're actually trying to get them to price originally right above where the market's going, so it seems like a good deal at the time until it's not. Make sense?
Right.
All right. Motivate buyers with a sense of urgency. And qualify and convert leads quickly, right? So new strategies are going to be required. Just realize that what's working really well today, whatever you're doing today that's just following your phones, where you're like, I'm not doing anything. My phone just rings and people want to sell. That ain't going to work, right? Catch and convert leads on the web. So if you're doing a web, kind of a web strategy, if you're doing different things right now currently, like right now if you're doing a strategy, first-time buyers is probably not the best strategy because it's really hard for new first-time buyers to buy homes. Well, in 2 years from now, that might not be the case. First-time buyers and home buyer seminars, those might be a great strategy because there may be new incentives for first-time buyer programs, stuff like that, okay? So things to be to think about. And then bulletproofing your transaction to make sure everything closes, because bulletproofing your transaction will be super important right now. If you're listing and it falls out, you're like, no big deal. Back on the market, 7 more offers, right? That might not be the case, right? So you want to make sure you're bulletproofing your transaction, and do more with less. Who has a P&L? That's the first thing. Get a P&L, right? Profit and loss statement for your business. You're like, I don't know. I just spent. I don't know. Guys, it's super easy, guys. Get an Excel spreadsheet, and on the left, put all your commissions that came in, profit, and on the right, go through your bank account and look at every time you spent money for your business. Or when your wife went to Target, you pretend you went for an open house, whatever you want to do. I never did that. I never did that. Right? So your expenses on one, profit on the other. There you go, profit and loss. That's simple. Keep it simple in the beginning, right? And then look at those expenses and think, how can I reduce those expenses consistently? Let's keep those expenses low. The theory of equilibrium. Here's the truth. Over time, it always will equal out. We'll have ups, we'll have downs. We'll have ups, we'll have downs. What have we been doing for the last 12 years?
Going up. Going up, going down.
Up, 13 years really now. Right? Up, right? So we will have downs. It always happens. And the seller's market, agent count, what? Increases. It's like, wow, look at all these people making all this money. You sold 10 houses, you made way over $100,000. That's crazy, right? That's why agents see that. People see that, and they want to get into the business. The buyer's market, agent count always goes down. Why?
Hard to get your...
It's harder to build business.
It's harder, and it takes more. 25 houses was like barely $100,000 like 5 years ago.
Today's too.
Yeah, I know. Like this 2016, 25 homes sold was about 100,000. That was about the number. I remember doing Ignite, like how much money you want to make? Everyone's like 100,000. We did the math. It took about 24 home sales, right? Right now, you do the same math. It's about 10. Well, might go back that other direction, right? It's gonna be harder. Here's the truth though, big opportunity for those with stamina skill to adapt and improve their business practices. Why?
You have to adapt.
But why is it a good opportunity? We'll come to it here in a second. When the market shifts downward, time to reach equilibrium is unknown. So there's a myth that wait it out, it'll be over soon. The truth is, guys, we don't know. The face the market and adapt is needed. Just know what the market is and adapt what you are doing in your business to make it work. It might be a very flat market for 5 years or 6 years. We don't know for certain what that will look like. It doesn't mean it's just going to shift and be bad for 6 months and all of a sudden it'll be good again. That make sense? It could be shift, a pretty big downturn for 3 or 4 months where it's real slow and then it picks up and we're just stagnant for 4 or 5 years. Right? We don't know what that looks like. So, in a downshift, it's time for all hands on deck, right? Prospecting, converting leads to appointments, cost to control, negotiations, transaction, bulletproof, great customer service, right? All these things are going to be super important for you guys to maintain during that downtime. I want to get to this real quick. This is why it's important because we're running out of time here. So your market right now, we're in that first quadrant, right? That's us, this market. Woo, it's a great market. There's all these agents in here. This is market share. Let's say you're a top agent, you're doing great, and currently you have 20% of the market share. You're just killing it. You're doing great. There's all these agents, right? What happens is over time in the buyer's market, a lot of agents will get out of the business because they won't be able to, right now, they won't be able to cut expenses. Right now they're, thinking everything's great, nothing's gonna change. They're buying cars, they're spending money, they're not being responsible. And when that market shifts and times get a little bit tougher, they are not able to withstand and do the right things. Nope. If you bought a new car, I'm not talking smack about you. I understand that. I'm just saying put money away too. Otto, stop pointing at Armando, okay? The car's very nice. Or Jason, both of them. Both of them. It's good. We need cars. We have to buy cars as well. I'm just saying, please, please, please put money in that bank account and save up as well and cut other expenses as best you can. But as those agents that can't quite make it or new, right now when you call someone, they're like, you might call someone like, oh, I'm sorry, but my cousin's in real estate now, and I gotta use them. Well, guess what? When that market shifts, cousin might have to go back to waiting tables or do something different, right? He might not have made it. So now when you call, there is no cousin competing for you. It's just you. And you'll see the market amount of agents will come down and will come down over time. But if you can maintain your consistent market share with those people that you had, you now have about a 50% market share by just the market coming down. But here's the truth of it is when that market shifts and goes up, if you can maintain your current 50% market share with those people that you own, now that they're in your database and you're talking to them and you're the realtor of choice, now when their cousin gets back into the business, they're gonna go, sorry cousin, I've been working with Philemon, he calls me at least 4 times a year, he gives me good information, I have to use him because I have a relationship with him, because Philemon calls everyone in his database at least 4 times a year, probably more, right? Now he owns that market share. As the market keeps going up, you own more market share. Make sense?
Yep.
Because you took other people's market share when they're not there, and more agents will come back into the business when it gets good again. So now is that time to really be building a moat around your database and making sure you are the agent of choice, and they know who you are, and really getting your expenses line and doubling down on what you're doing, because the money is good right now. So let's put some money in the bank, let's close some homes, let's be excited and high five, and let's just be aware in the future, it could be 2 years from now, it could be a year, it could be 6 months, that there will be a tighter times, it will happen. So we want to make sure we're prepared and we're taking ground right now, and when that happens, I don't want to see KW agents leaving the business. I want to see the RE/MAX agents leaving the business because they're not preparing. Not that I want RE/MAX agents, I'm picking on them because that's the first one that came to my head. Century 21, anyone else but us, right? So the truth is there will be people that'll do it. There's a quote that Mark King says a lot, and I really like it. He says that there's very little traffic in the extra mile. So those agents that go into that extra mile will be the ones that are successful and make it through, no big deal, and grow big businesses. I guarantee you, Tom, Paul, Ileana, John, they're all looking at this going, okay, this is an opportunity for me to grow my database and grow as agents will be less competition, right? And they will take it. So if you won't call your cousin or your friend, just know they are going to. So make sure you do as well. All right, that's all the time we got, guys. We have ALC coming up, so we're gonna have to skip the rest of this, and I'm out of time. But we appreciate you guys. Remember, next week, where are we? Hilton Garden Inn for quarterly awards. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. We appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your day.